Recently, I had been speaking to my pastor, but actually suggested to me that I read the book of Ruth. Now, I've read the book of Ruth a few times, so I really was like, yeah, I'll read it, I'll get around to it, sort of a thing. But then I was like, no, like, let me actually follow his advice and let me read it. Maybe there's something there for me. And as I was reading it, I also was, asking God, like, God, show me something in here that I don't know, give me revelation that I haven't previously seen or gotten, highlight things to me. So something that I realized, and sometimes it helps to read different versions of the same, to read different versions to see, what others say. And what really struck me this time was, and it's crazy because God will actually highlight certain things, like go focus on that, look more deeper into that verse. So be really mindful if you feel as though you're getting a certain unction to look at certain verses. But anyway, so what I saw here was really crazy. I was like, wow, So in Ruth chapter 1, this is when, they're on the way back to Bethlehem, Ruth, Naomi, and Orpah. Orpah decides, Naomi's like, just return. There's no point following me. And so Orpah returns, but Ruth is like, no, I'm not going to go. And this is her sort of speech to Naomi about that. She says, so Naomi says, and she said, look, your sister-in-law has, this is chapter 1:15 onwards. And she said, look, your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and to her gods. Return after your sister-in-law. But Ruth said, entreat me not to leave you or to turn back from following after you. For wherever you go, I will go, and wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there will I be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also, if anything, but death parts you and me. And so another version shows that if anything will separate us except death. And what struck me was, wow, in this little speech, Ruth actually pretty much just says her wedding vows right there and then. She says her wedding vows before even meeting her future husband. Before even, I don't know enough context to know whether she's really thinking about marriage, although, Naomi does suggest to her in the previous one, to go back to your thing, are you going to wait for me to bear more children so you can marry them, all this sort of stuff. So there may have been certain plans that they need to remarry, and apparently, women back in that day needed to be married, otherwise there was not really any way of making money, or, that they relied on their husbands to provide for them. But here Ruth says her wedding vows before she's even met her future husband. She says it actually to her mother-in-law. Listen here. Verse 17, the Lord do so to me and more also, if anything but death parts you and me. So she basically says the wedding vow, till death do us part. Here she's willing to do all of the things that one would do once they're married, right? She says, entreat me not to leave you, or to turn back from following after you. For wherever you go, I will go. Wherever you lodge, I will lodge. So obviously, these are all things that husband and wife do together. They go together, they come together. Where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people. Your God, my God. So all these things, they lodge together. They have the same sort of family and community. They have the same God, obviously, especially if you're equally yoked. And where you die, I will die. There will I be buried. So Ruth says her wedding vows before she's even married, before she's even met her future husband. She says her wedding vows right there to Naomi. She says, till death do us part. And, even the thing of saying, I do, you say, I do at the altar. Or she's saying, I will go and I will do all these things. Wow, really crazy, right?